Now, men, we swing our attention across the Tasman to Eden Park, where it was 1v2. It was the big boppers going at it, and this game did not disappoint.
Oh, it's set up for the last 2 weeks as well. I said last week, two of the more passionate fan bases of world rugby were, very, very, very keen for this game this weekend, and it's set up. It was perfectly set up. Even the way that the weather was dour and wet, the build up to the game initially was huge. Pressure on both teams, and it was an absolute blockbuster. At different stages of the game, there was a lot of sort of drop balls and errors, but I think that was just through the pressure of playing in Eden Park. The opposition were, world class, and it was a cracker game to watch. Completely different to our game, but cracker game.
It's the most brutal breakdown contest I've seen since the World Cup.
Oh, really?
They have absolutely ripped each other to shreds at the breakdown. Savea, of course, in his 100th. Yeah, the theatre of the pre-match stuff. And I'll tell you what I wish. I wish I'd have bought the domain name The Greatest Rivalry, is it? Is that what they keep saying? The Greatest Rivalry all the time at the moment. And whatever you think of that as a statement, the match itself lived up to it by sheer intensity. And the ABs with a cerebral try to begin with, knowing South Africa want to win the physical battle, chasing and seeking contact, and Barrett's pinpoint kick was brilliant.
It's the little scene, human nutmeg. Look at this, through the legs. The ball goes through. Malawa slid his whole body underneath the legs of the Springbok defender, and then they just kept pouring it on, Fang.
Yeah, this Jordan try was special, and I've seen that a couple of times before. This is like an old faithful they bring out for the big games. And Jordan, he got pushed to the wing early because of Nawara's injury, but he's world class to be able to play anywhere around there on the field. And those first 2 tries really, really heaped pressure on South Africa. And after that, South Africa had to do all the work.
They're almost both over-chasing or over-enthusiasm tries. You pay the price. The kick across was less so, but the blitz is coming from South Africa. The midfielder trying to climb into you, and it avoids that. And then the over-chase from the tail of the line, it opens up that hole. And then have we seen the end of this? Is that it now?
It's a real shame to see that fail.
Come on. It worked against Italy at home. I'm not sure any of the other sides in and around them in the world rankings are going to...
Well, to one thing you would say is that New Zealand do honeypot around it. So if you want to... the change-up is perhaps throw it somewhere else.
Razzie could be setting something up for the next game.
Yeah. Rope-a-dope. It could be rope-a-doping it,
He's a genius.
Well, he is, but that'd be 17D chess if that was the case. So 17-3, you'd think the Boks are cooked, but then they come roaring into the contest, even though giving away a couple of attacking penalties and a couple of loose passes. They come fighting back, fellas.
Well, they had all the possession and momentum in that sort of 40 to 60 minutes, the Boks, and they came away with nothing. It took up to the 61st minutes for South Africa to get on the board, but that's a credit to New Zealand's tenacity in defence, but also the pressure they were putting on the Boks, how they had to chase the game at that stage. That 20-minute part of the game probably defined the way that the game finished, because they threw everything into it and came away with nothing, and they'd just be thinking, oh, Jesus, what do we have to do to get some points on the board?
Talk me through this scrum, fellas.
This was frightening. That is frightening.
There's a lot of props out there just watching that on repeat, aren't they? They love that sort of stuff. Yeah. I don't care what you think, that's the purest part of the game there.
And then there's a lot of props with PTSD. as well.
But you can't do anything when you miss the hit and you're on roller skates like that,
especially the way the nines feed now.
Yeah, okay.
The nines pretty much feed to the number 8.
Right.
So it's not like, their hooker got the lucky hook.
Gotcha.
It's like they've had to push them 17 metres to get the ball back. None of the Rockets. We went straight down the middle. If any of the Japanese referees are watching.
Yeah. You do it the other way on the other team.
Ricochet.
Just to be sure. You're playing pinball with the ball, I've seen a few times. Look, that's 17-3 with less than 20 to go. The All Blacks, you don't think they're getting run down, but there wasn't a lot in it. And then what they did do is, off the back of their intensity, there was some great subtlety of play when they needed it. Like, this is just brilliantly put together with bodies in motion from a team under stress on their own line. There was a little bit of quality. And let's not forget the absolute pasting they've copped at home for the last couple of weeks after Argentina. That's a real response.
It's the same rinse and repeat cycle, isn't it? bad game by New Zealand, cop it for a week, everyone writes them off. They come back, beat the world's best team.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just the same old. We should just not mention it.
Yes.
Just be like nodding. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Sure.
But that try that New Zealand scored, that last one, that was literally straight after the South African try.
Yeah.
So they're under pressure. They've been scored against. They get down into their half and they make them pay straight away.
And they've got a lot. Then also, Scott Robertson today would be saying, geez, there's a lot of things we can get better at too. But what they did bring was that intensity at contact. I'm trying to think if there's a team in the world that would have beaten them on the weekend just on the attitude that they brought. Not even the rugby they put on.
Yeah, the scoreboard didn't reflect that attitude, did it?
No.
It was sort of set up, never in doubt for a stage there. So
Talk us through the closing stages here, though. I thought they're a shot here, South Africa. But then...
Just look at every breakdown. Watch every single contact and breakdown.
And we're looking for the man playing in his 100th.
yeah, well deserved there. You know, he's sort of been a mainstay for 10 years now. Absolute superstar. He's there, lives and breathes playing for the All Blacks. He's their man, and good of him to have a cracker in his 100th game, and well deserved. They heaped a lot of praise on him at the end of the game as well, which was well deserved. A lot of love there from the South Africans for him, and just an absolute blockbuster game. I'm already waiting for next week. There's 2 great games this weekend, and we'll hopefully get 2 more next week.
Morgs, remember when you said Ardie Savea might run out of gas by the time he hit Rugby Championship because he basically carried Moana Pacifica for the entirety of the season? It didn't work.
No, he's got a petrol car. He's just pulled over. And he's filled it back up. It is frightening. The level, the effort, the output in every single match he plays. Like, obviously when you play your 100th, they're talking about where does he sit in the pantheon of greats, back rowers in the game and the All Blacks. Like, they've got a couple of more trophies possibly to win New Zealand, but you know, who do you pick in front of him? You probably only pick the greatest career in the history of the game of rugby, Richie McCaw, in front of Ardie Savea.
Yeah, I was going to say, are those two of equal standing now? They've got
McCaw's the greatest career in the history of the game.
Okay. Oh, you mean win rate? And
everything.
Silverware.
Trophies,
Yeah,
performance,
gotcha.
consistency.
There was some great scenes post-game as well with Sia Khaleesi hanging out with Ardie's kids and playing with them, so they obviously know each other very well, and there's a huge amount of respect which will be repeated again this weekend over there. Where are they off to? Is it Wellington? It's Wellington. Do you think they might be a chance down in Wellington, South Africa?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
I think South Africa's second half with their bench, they were incredible. Luke came on, straightened up their line out. A lot of their exciting young players came on in the back three. I think they're going to pick a vastly different team, and I think it's going to be an absolute blockbuster.
I reckon you can almost gauge the improvement a team can have week to week by how many cuts to the coach there are in the game. Now, when you make an error and they cut to the coach because you know he's going to be filthy, think about how many times you saw Rassie.
Yeah.
They made a lot of basic, not forced errors, but pretty fixable errors, the Boks. And they'll think if we can go over in one of the two, the second game maybe was always going to be the one with the reaction from the New Zealand public into the team and Eden Park. Maybe Wellington might have always been the one.
I tell you what, we can officially confirm is that this is the best and most open rugby championship we've ever had. Anyone can pop anyone, and probably will for the next 3 weeks as well.